Now, during their 10-day tour of southern Africa last month, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex celebrated the continent's people and culture. It was also their first official overseas trip with their 4-month-old son, Archie. And it was a tour you can see more of in an ITV documentary tonight. Let's take a quick look.
For Meghan, this has been quite some year. She has a new husband, new country, new job, new family, new life, new baby. So, in part, this colourful, vibrant tour was a chance for her to focus on the work she wants to do. Like here in Nyanga, where a charity called the Justice Desk, supported by the Queen's Commonwealth Trust, is teaching women how literally to fight back against endemic violence.
Oh my goodness, it's the most inspiring. We just got here and to see everything that they're doing, but also that it's not just the girls that are feeling empowered, it's all the role of the men and the young boys who are also helping them.
Well, joining us now is a royal historian and commentator, Victoria Howard. Nice to see you again. Do you think, in general terms, that tour was a great success for the Sussexes?
It was. They highlighted some amazing causes that are close to their hearts, gender equality or inequality, HIV/AIDS, which is something Harry has championed, and of course landmines as well, which was some of Diana's work. But the end of the tour was slightly overshadowed by their lawsuits that we learned they were pursuing against the press.
Yeah, and it was a curious decision to take to put that out right at the end of the tour, because there had been so much positive press coverage, as you say, around the kind of people that they spoke to, the causes they were talking about. But then it seemed almost like they immediately, the moment that finished, got themselves back in a battle with the media.
Yeah, and of course the media were more than happy to highlight these causes and say that, this is some great work that's been done. So it was a slightly strange timing, but it seems they did it from a position of strength to go, we're in this good position, people are watching what we're doing, they're listening, let's tell them what is actually going on.
I'm interested to know how the public's going to react to this, because they do bare their souls in this documentary, more than perhaps we've seen before. We can see a clip now of Meghan talking about the impact of motherhood.
Look, any woman, especially when they're pregnant, you're really vulnerable, and so that was made really challenging. And then when you have a newborn,
It's a long time ago, but I remember, yeah.
And especially as a woman, it's a lot. So you add this on top of just trying to be a new mom or trying to be a newlywed. It's I guess, and also thank you for asking, because not many people have asked if I'm okay, but it's a very real thing to be going through behind the scenes.
And the answer is, would it be fair to say not really okay? It's really been a struggle.
Yes.
I mean, that for people who kind of very much support them and their cause, it's quite emotionally, putting it out there, and it is very touching. Yeah, there will of course be others who'll say, look, you're in a very uniquely privileged position, you have a whole army of support around you, but that doesn't necessarily counter the fact that you can still feel very vulnerable, very isolated, when you've also got the gaze of the world's eyes on you.
Absolutely, and some people say, Meghan was an actress before she married Harry, so she should have been used to this a little bit and known what was to be expected, but it's been so intense for them as a couple. I think it probably came as a bit of a shock. So you can understand why this must have been quite emotional for them, and you can just hear it in Meghan's voice in that clip.
And we've seen that from Harry as well recently at an event he was at. Let's remind ourselves of that. I think this is Harry talking about the impact of parenthood on him. Can we see this? This was at an awards ceremony that took place a little bit earlier on this week. Here it is.
Last year when my wife and I attended, we knew we were expecting our first child. No one else did at the time, but we did. And I remember...
think he is just a more emotional individual than, for example, his brother, isn't he?
I think so. It's reflected in their personalities. William has always been slightly more shy, a bit more reserved. Harry's always been more open about things like that. You know, we've had recent interviews with him expressing his difficulties with his own mental health. So this is just another step in that, and I'm sure a lot of people will agree that when you become a parent, it opens you up more emotionally like that. So I think many people will relate to him talking about inspirational young children with life-limiting illnesses and reflecting on your own life and family.
Victoria, it's been lovely to meet you and talk to you this morning. Thank you very much for coming in.